Well, imagine opening your mail and discovering the federal government diverted a huge chunk of your tax refund to pay someone else's debt.
Yeah, it's happening here in the Coastal Bend. Our Rick Sproul is in the studio as 6 investigates.
What KRIS-6 investigates found so interesting isn't how much Ramiro Rodriguez owes Uncle Sam. It's why he's unable to pay it back. That's what caught our attention. It showed up in email to Carlisle's mailbox one day this spring. The official-looking envelope holding a whole lot of bad news. The notice, written on Treasury Department letterhead, told Carlisle that they'd seized hundreds of dollars out of her tax refund, and they'd given it to the Social Security Administration. Suspecting a scam, Carlisle called the 800 number on the letter.
I waited 45 minutes to speak to someone. I waited on hold. I finally had a person answer the phone, and they said, "This is a debt that my dad had."
So it wasn't a scam, but for Carlisle, it felt like one.
The only thing that they were able to pull up was 1976 and 1980 and the address.
Now, this is not new. Your tax refund can be used to pay another debt that you owe, like back taxes or delinquent student loans. But that isn't what happened here. After several phone calls and cutting through the red tape, Carlisle realized the Social Security Administration nabbed her tax refund to pay back an overpayment made to Ramiro Rodriguez, her father. They took Carlisle's refund because they can't go after Ramiro Rodriguez. He's been dead since 1993. But as one of his children, the government says Carlisle must pay back her father's debts. The basic idea is that if you're the child of someone who receives certain federal benefits, well, then you benefited too. But Carlisle asked KRIS-6, isn't there a limit on how old a debt can be to collect on it? And the answer is no. Uncle Sam now has the power to come after you to repay your parents' debts, no matter how old they are, no matter how much they owe. That's because a single sentence buried deep inside a 2008 federal farm subsidies bill made sure there is no limitation on the government coming after a debt that anyone in your family may owe.
Up until this farm bill was passed, we had a 10-year statute of limitations for federal debts, and this new law simply extends that 10 years retroactively.
And that's how they took $654.40 from the Carlisle family tax refund this year. Carlisle went back and asked the Social Security Administration why they hadn't tried to contact her before. They said they had. They mailed a collection notice to Tomball, Texas in 1980. There's only one problem. Carlisle's never lived in Tomball or anywhere near there.
In 1980, I was still living in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
And Carlisle isn't the only one this is happening to. Reports are popping up all over the U.S., and faced with the backlash, the Social Security Administration says it's going to stop this. But for Carlisle, a private sector taxpayer, this is about a lot more than just the money.
I deal with customer service, and I know what customer service is. And this is not customer service at all.
Carlisle says she tried to contact U.S. Representative Blake Farenthold's office here in Corpus Christi to let them know this was going on, but she had no luck getting through. So KRIS-6 Investigates did that for her. Farenthold says he expects to see the administration officials on Capitol Hill explaining themselves.
This looks to me like it violates the due process clause along with common sense. I think the Ways and Means may have a hearing on it to see what happened and make sure it isn't going to happen again. If the administrative policy of not pursuing that changes, there's an opportunity for legislation.
Rick Sproul, KRIS-6 Investigates.
Now, before this story aired, we got a call from a man who said his return was seized to pay a $500 overpayment that was made to his mother, who died in 1978. If this has happened to you, you can file a form with the IRS. You can get a copy of it on our website. You know where to go, KRIS-TV.com.